5 years ago, we bought this abandoned off-grid cabin, and we've been rebuilding it ever since. And the one thing that it's missing is a proper workshop, a place where we could store all the tools, machines, and a place to work. But like most dreams out here, it started with just an idea, chicken scratch on paper. A shipping container workshop. Durable, affordable, sort of, compared to a regular shop it is. Fast to build, and it just made sense for our lifestyle. In this video, we're showing you exactly how we built this, what it costs, start to finish. We decided the perfect spot was right behind the cabin, tucked out of sight but easy to get to. That way, it wouldn't become the visual centerpiece of the homestead, but still be super functional. The only catch? There was no way to get back there. So before anything else, we had to build a road. And good thing, we love building roads. We cut a path through the trees and laid down 4 to 6 inch gravel for the base. Then we topped it with smaller stone and packed it down tight.
I'm just so happy with it.
I love building roads. Now that we can get to the site, we had to think about the foundation. We live in Canada, and anyone up here knows the ground shifts like crazy with the seasons. Frost heave is no joke, so we knew we couldn't just drop the containers on the ground and hope for the best, especially because we were tying them together. When we excavated the site for our shipping container workshop, we hit some massive boulders, which is pretty typical for our rugged landscape. Once we cleared them out, we laid down a base of 4 to 6 inch stone. We then squared out the pad to find the exact middle to run future water and electrical lines underground, dug a trench, and then glued 4-inch pipe and buried it. When that was all done, we topped it with a fine layer of smaller gravel. Layering technique helps with both drainage and compaction. Because our land is naturally uneven, we built the pads slightly higher than the surrounding grade. That way, rain or snow melt flows away from the structure, not under it. Crucial for preventing rot, erosion, and frost damage over time. Proper site prep might not be glamorous, but it's one of the most important parts of a long-lasting build. And to be honest, our favorite part.
Today's the day we begin on the foundation for the workshop.
We chose screw piles. These are massive galvanized screws that get drilled deep into the ground. They bypass the frost line and keep your structure from shifting. Each one costs anywhere from $300 to $800, depending on the size, depth, and location.
Let's crush some rock.
Seeing that rock driller just hammer through that rock, it never gets old. We did 12 on each side, so 24. So yeah, that adds up quick. $7,200 to $12,000. Luckily for us, our friend happens to install them for a living, so we get the mates rate discount. Another reason why we went this route.
I'll try this one out, Jess.
Really?
That's me in the machine having so much fun, wishing this was my machine.
Did you have fun?
I want one. Galvanized paint, so they don't rust.
I love the sound.
After that, it's time to find our containers. And that was a process. There's a lot of scams out there, especially on the super fun Facebook Marketplace. Rusty boxes, dented signs, and listings that look like they were made by a robot. And people taking your cash. Happened to my neighbor. So we took our time and made sure to buy a one-trip container from a reputable source. The Sea Can guys. That means they've only crossed the ocean once and aren't full of mystery odors or structural nightmares. Now that our orders were placed, it was time for delivery day. Our containers showed up on massive flatbed trucks, and the driver didn't waste a second. He expertly backed them not only down our winding road, but positioned them perfectly on the pad, all with just inches to spare. It was seriously impressive. We needed 2 40-footers. Shipping containers typically cost anywhere from $2,000 to $9,000, depending on the condition and location. We paid on the higher end due to wanting containers where all the doors worked, had no big dents, and no rust. And that alone saved us so much time and stress. After all, it is the foundation and walls of the shop. You can't blame us. Delivery for the containers was about $1,000. We live way out in the middle of nowhere, so getting anything heavy delivered or anything at all costs more than usual. But they showed up, and that's all we can ask for out here. Now to get the containers on the screw piles. We shopped around for the most economical route, which to our surprise was a boom truck. Now with every build, there's always obstacles, am I right? Our foundation wasn't perfectly square. Nothing ever is, really. But when you're trying to place two 40-foot containers on steel posts, inches at a square is a big deal. Well, it's a good thing we got the engineer to over-engineer, eh? Luckily, we have some great neighbors who know how to do anything and everything and are always willing to give us a helping hand. We had to jack up the containers, crib them with big 12x12 milled lumber, and gently push them into place using the excavator.
This thing's a beast!
It was a little sketchy. One of us guided and the other pushed. And there was a whole lot of yelling, like, no, stop, wait, keep going, ah! Eventually, we got them sitting perfectly level and in line. Not a single container was harmed in the making of that correction.
Like literally less than a quarter inch. I don't know. I would leave it. I would leave that. I wouldn't try anymore.
That's crazy.
Wow. These are supervisors, Bella and Izzy, and we need to make sure they're always feeling their very best because they make all of these projects possible, doing all of the ordering and keeping us on task. Everyone meet Itchy Izzy. That's a long-standing name for this poor gal, but this past spring we were losing sleep. She's constantly licking and itching her ears and her paws, rolling around in the dirt just trying to get some relief. Better Wild Allergy Relief Soft Chews for Dogs are a total game changer. These are formulated by vets using natural ingredients that target the root cause of dog allergies, which you may not know is gut health. And modern life really messes with our dog's gut. And the thing is that 90% of our dog's immune system lives in the gut. The formula has three very important and powerful ingredients. The first is L-Sakii, which is a postbiotic that comes from fermented food that is proven to reduce itchiness and redness in dogs. I can't help but smile when I say that because this girl gets the relief she needs. It also has colostrum and salmon oil to help soothe the skin and promote a healthy coat. She's finally back to being chilled out and she's rolling around not because she's itchy, but because she wants to have fun. This is an incredible product. If you use this on a daily basis for 2 months, it is clinically proven to reduce symptoms. It is science-backed and it's vet approved. I just wish we had this years ago for her. You can use our link betterwild.com/VanWivesJuly and our code VanWivesJuly for an exclusive offer at checkout. It stacks on top of already discounted pricing when you subscribe.
With the containers in place, we moved on to the pony walls. We have 4 of them. They're 10 feet long because a container is 40 feet, simple math. And we're gonna construct them starting now. If you've ever heard of one, a pony and a horse apparently are the same animal but are also not the same animal. Kidding, if you watch that episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. Back on track. A pony wall is basically a short wall that adds height before your roof starts. We needed that extra space so the roof would have a good pitch and give us some overhead room inside for machines. We built them out of 2x6 lumber, bolted straight into the tops of the containers.
Now that's a pony.
Now it was time to frame the small roofs that cover each shipping container. To do this, we first attached a 2x6 ledger board directly to the container, running parallel to the pony wall. Then we cut our rafters at a 412 pitch to match the slope of the main roof. Each rafter was securely fastened to both the pony wall and the 2x6 ledger using structural screws, corner brackets, and hurricane ties. Next, we installed the purlins, horizontal boards that run across the rafters to support the roofing. They help distribute weight evenly and keep everything square. We spaced them out every 2 feet and secured them with galvanized nails for strength and durability. We spent about $500 on the lumber and another $200 on hardware. Not bad considering how solid it made everything feel. Everything was level, squared, and plumb before we went any further.
Good work.
That's it, girl. Fireflies are out in
They're everywhere.
full force.
Then came the trusses. Probably my favorite part.
I can't believe they let me rent this thing.
It's like a big forklift with a boom arm, and we had way too much fun driving it around. Neither of us have ever used one before, but within a few hours we were lifting trusses like pros, or at least like the people we watched a few YouTube videos on and hoped for the best. These were 28 feet long and spanned the full width of the build. Trusses are basically the bones of your roof. Triangle frames that carry the load and give it structure. We looked into used ones, but to be honest, they weren't that much cheaper and they looked pretty tired. So we went new, $2,200 for the whole set and delivery. We placed our trusses every 2 feet on center and added 8-inch massive structural screws into the trusses to hold in place. And then of course, we finished them with hurricane ties and so many screws. Those screws were pricey, $236, but worth it. And we were surrounded by friends. For the first and last truss, we added this back piece of wood, that way they wouldn't fall off the building. Just a helpful tip. For the telehandler, it was pricey, but worth it, as it made the job so much easier. We paid $1,000 for the weekly rental, which was cheaper than the daily rate of $800, and it gave us some buffer. We didn't need it for more than 2 days, but having it around gave us some peace of mind. Partway through, we noticed a bit of a wow in the middle, like the roof was sagging a little, so we grabbed a big ratchet strap, pulled the whole thing tight.
We have 2 ratchet straps, one along the bottom and one along the top of the truss over here. And we're just giving them a yank to get them exactly straight up and down plumb.
Okay, little tickies. Oh, a little bit more.
And boom, straight as an arrow. It was one of those weirdly satisfying moments where you go, huh, that actually worked. We made sure to tighten our roof structure so that way when we let go of the ratchet, the roof stayed in place. Then came attaching all the purlins every 2 feet on center.
It's massive.
Oh, I can't believe we have a shop.
It's so,
Clementine.
it's so sick. Clem's gonna love it.
This is definitely the biggest project we've ever tackled. With everything locked in, we moved on to roofing. Metal roofing is our go-to. Lightweight, durable, and we've done enough of them now that we actually kind of enjoy it. First comes the drip edge, then comes the easy close.
It's the last piece.
Ta-da!
Wow.
That was the last screw.
Good job.
Thank you, you two. And of course, we did the second side of the roofing.
How cool does it look down here? Look at this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we built this.
So good. I know, I love it.
Now remember those 2 small roofs we framed? Yeah, they need some metal roofing too. The roof went up so fast, we were in the groove and everything lined up beautifully. We even had time that day to trim out the front gable truss to give it a clean and finished look. That little detail made the whole structure feel complete.
This is a nibbler. Oh, yeah, she just turns on.
This is our new nibbler tool. It helped us cut the metal sheets perfectly for the trim work.
That was so sick.
Definitely nibbled, right?
Oh my gosh.
We got a deal on the trim by digging through the seconds pile. Ask your local metal shop if they have one. We spent $1,183 on the roofing panels and another $200 on trim.
Fabulous.
It's finished. I actually can't believe we built this big building.
It's huge.
I actually can't get over it. And that's a wrap on our DIY shipping container workshop build. It's solid, functional, and exactly what our homestead needed. A dedicated space for tools, machines, and getting real work done. We're so proud how it turned out. Here's a quick recap on what it costs. Keep in mind, all these prices will vary depending on where you live and what you can DIY. Screw piles, $7,200 to $12,000. Shipping containers, $4,000 to $9,000. Paint, $500. Boom truck for placement, $250 an hour. Lumber and hardware, $700. Trusses, $2,200. Telehandler rental, $1,000. Metal roofing and trim, $1,383. Estimate total cost, $15,500 to $27,000. But that's the thing, we built this ourselves, with the help of friends and a whole lot of patience. If you're thinking of doing something similar, we hope this gave you a realistic but hopeful picture of what it takes. Would you build one?